Kia ora katoa whānau. Welcome back. We're going to talk briefly about asthma as a condition. There's a little video that I'll get you to watch at the end, and then also move on to the second condition related to the respiratory system, which is COPD. Okay, so asthma, inside your lungs, thousands of tube-called airways. So we talked about going from the trachea to the bronchioles, to the bronchus, to the bronchioles, down to the alveoli that carry air in and out of your body. If you have asthma, your airways are extra sensitive and become swollen or constricted. They also tend to secrete more mucus, and the muscles surrounding the airways tighten. So all of these things make it harder to breathe, and they cause the signs and symptoms. So you can see there's a bit of a visual representation of kind of what's happening with asthma, and you can understand there how it would be, how that's going to make life difficult in terms of your respiratory system doing what it's meant to do. So main symptoms: cough, especially at night or after during exercise. So asthma can be induced by things like exercise. It can be triggered by cool air. It can be triggered by things like pollen and particles in the air as well. So a wheeze, this is a sound that can be heard when breathing. It's what doctors will listen for when they put the stethoscope on the chest or on the back of a patient, looking to hear those noises when breathing. Tightness in the chest. So written here, as it feels like you're getting a strong hard and can't get air into your lungs. It can cause people to feel tired because obviously that relates then again to our inability with asthma to be able to get oxygen to the tissues where it's needed, and feeling breathless. So people that have issue with asthma, that can restrict the amount of activity, the amount of exercise that they're able to do before they start to get breathless, compared to somebody that doesn't have the same thing. Okay, some things that can trigger it: getting sick. I know from my personal experience, I had asthma as a kid. I have 3 kids, and both my boys have the same thing I did. So asthma, kind of bronchiolitis. My youngest, who's now 7, used to be, he's getting better now, but used to be when he was quite little, that any time he would get a cold, it would turn into asthma / bronchiolitis. We would go to hospital, they'd put him on a nebulizer, he would get the prednisone, the steroids to take home and take over the next 3 days, and then things would settle down for him. So other things that can set some people off: pollen, dust, animals, especially cats, filthy animals. I know my mum's allergic to cats. I don't know too many people who are, but all of those kind of those pollutants, I guess, in some way, kind of getting into there and aggravating the airways. Can trigger that response. So different things will trigger for different people. Cold weather, we kind of talked about. Smoking, don't do it, not cool. All of those foreign particles that you're breathing in, not good there. And exercise. So people that have got asthma will oftentimes have a preventative inhaler, like a Ventolin inhaler, that they take before they do exercise to dilate the bronchioles and allow them to do a little bit more, or kind of negate the effect of that when they do that. Okay, here we go. Nearly 600,000 people take medication for asthma. 1 in 8 adults and 1 in 7 children take medication for asthma. So that's pretty significant in terms of numbers in a relatively small country. Probably not helped by the fact of where we are and all of the wonderful kind of pollens and things that float around in our atmosphere. Large numbers of children. So 3,050 or 326 per 100,000. So that's from stats from 2017. Are being admitted to hospital with asthma, and some of these will have potentially life-threatening attacks. So they can vary in intensity. Not every asthma attack is going to have someone fighting for their life in hospital, but it can, it absolutely can do. And it's something that for patients, kind of management plans is something in terms of a strategy that will be used for them in conjunction with their doctors, using preventers, that kind of thing, and understanding their own triggers. Okay, so the highest numbers being admitted to asthma are Māori and Pacific people, and people living in the most deprived areas. So one thing that won't help these respiratory issues is damp, overcrowded housing. So the stats, Māori almost 3 times, and Pacific 3.2 times more likely to be hospitalised than Europeans or other New Zealanders, and people living in the most deprived areas are almost 3 times more likely to be hospitalised. So the cost of asthma to the nation per year is over $1 billion, which, that's obviously quite significant in terms of time spent in hospital and time of medical professionals, as well as kind of the cost of the drugs and those different things. So the last slide here, this YouTube link I will put up below this video. So have a look. For those that haven't experienced it firsthand, I know I have many times. Fair warning. There's a warning at the start of the video. It may distress some people. You don't have to watch the video, but again, it just adds a little bit of context in terms of what it looks like and kind of what it might feel like. Okay, all right, we'll talk to you again soon.